for another week here at Zing. We're about halfway through our internship, and most of you are doing really well. There are a few who have not checked in with us much, but if you're watching this, you already know that you are not among that group. We're going to be doing some work on research this week. MCC has asked our help in getting something together for marketing. I was on the marketing team at MCC, and it's a really difficult kind of a job because it's hard. Our student body is so diverse, it's really hard to know how to reach them. Also, our student body is very busy. As you know, most of you are working full-time, rearing families, and taking as many as 12 hours or more. So you really do not have time to watch TV. When you do have time off, you want to spend it with your family or your friends. And so reaching potential MCC students can really be challenging. The other thing is, as a publicly supported entity, we really don't have the advertising dollars and the market that many other larger businesses have. So we really have to be good stewards of our marketing dollars and look at other ways to market. I'm going to be talking with you a little bit about various kinds of research. We're going to be working in our handbook on Chapter 9, and it covers research in all areas, but primarily from a marketing viewpoint. We have to look at how can we know what we need to know, how can we find it out. There are two kinds of research that we use an awful lot of. One is secondary research. That is research that's been done by somebody else for some other reason. And the best way to remember that is think second-hand. If you get something that is second-hand, somebody else has bought it and used it, and you are using it for your purposes. It's cheap, it's easy to get to. The internet, many books, a variety of TV shows, trade journals, trade associations provide a bevy of information for us to use. If you're doing research, it's best to start there, because the secondary research that somebody else has paid for to acquire may provide just exactly the answers that you need. The other kind of research is primary research. This is research that we do on our own, firsthand. We pay for it, we search it out, we devise the research formula, and decide how to apply it. Sometimes it's very difficult. If we make our answers to our questions skewed in some way, it will not give us the answers. For instance, in another group of our agency, we decided to have a Coke taste test, and we had people pick between H-E-B Cola, Pepsi, and Coca-Cola Classic in a simple taste test, blind taste test. And they realized that were not able to tell which ones were which. That was the first thing they realized. But one of the areas we purposely designed the questionnaire and the taste test to give us some skewed information. We assumed that everybody who was tasting this, or we developed the questionnaire so that there was a mistake in it. And we made that mistake assuming that everybody who was at that taste test really preferred Coca-Cola sugared drinks or sugared colas. But that wasn't true of this particular group. When we asked them what they usually drank, we had everything but Sprite, water, power drinks like Gatorade and Powerade, Dr. Pepper, a few root beers, but very few people actually drank cola drinks. So if we did not ask what they usually drank, we would look at that survey and say, oh, look, 85% of the people in this taste test preferred H-E-B soda. So we can assume that 85% of all the people in our community prefer that, and that simply is not true. So if you are designing any kind of questionnaire, you need to think about those, and think about if the questions sound judgmental, or if they are going to skew it in some way. Our job task is our creative meeting is going to be on MCC. We are going to be doing some work with them. MCC's student body is very diverse, older and heavily employed. Women outnumber men by about 2 to 1. The ethnicity makeup of MCC student body really mirrors the society of our community, McLennan County. It's about 55% Anglo and about 21% Hispanic and about 18 or 19% African American, and then a few who are either foreign born or Native American, Asian, a few others. But basically, our student body and our staff looks very much like McLennan County, which is a good thing because McLennan County taxpayers support us and McLennan County residents get lower tuition. We also have found that they're older. We are getting younger because we have so many students who are in high school and taking MCC classes for high school and college credit at the same time. But still, by and large, a big number of our students are well over that traditional college age, and a good number are 30 plus. That really reflects our own internship. If you've watched and listened to your fellow interns, you know that almost all of you work full-time, most of you are taking 2 or 3 classes, and all of you are in that return to school after some time off age, or almost all of you do. So you really reflect that demographic. Think in terms of how you might want to attract those students. How would you reach them? Would you reach them at work? Would you sponsor fairs? We seem to have a good handle on reaching that younger demographic because we reach them in high schools and as they come out of high school. But it's that older group that we really have a hard time reaching. So take a few looks at it. I've placed several links. I've placed a link to a website called My Best Segments, and it's a really fun website because you can look at certain zip codes and see how they reflect the area. So look up your own zip code and see if it reflects, because if you're looking at bringing a high-end restaurant or a high-end department store into a community, that would be good to know what kind of people live there, and would that you even have a market for those people, for your products. We know that, for instance, that Waco would probably not be a good community for Neiman Marcus to come in and start a store, because we simply are, most of us are not people who would be good potential Neiman Marcus customers. So take a look at that and look at it. We'll also be looking at Domino's and how they turned their pizza around. And it's sort of fun. It's almost a mystery thing. So have a good week, and your chit-chat is to talk about how you're going to be using research in your own project. So have a good week, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.